My Dream of Heaven, Chapter 7, Part 2. Then he drew me to a seat, and conversed with me long and earnestly, unfolding many of the mysteries of the divine life. I hung upon his words, I drank in every tone of his voice, I watched eagerly every line of the beloved face, and I was exalted, uplifted, upborne, beyond the power of words to express. At length, with a divine smile, he arose. "We will often meet," he said, and I, bending over, pressed my lips reverently to the hand still clasping my own, and then laying his hands a moment in blessing upon my bowed head, he passed noiselessly and swiftly from the house. As I stood watching the Saviour's fast receding figure, passing beneath the flower-laden trees, I saw two beautiful young girls approaching the way he went. With arms intertwining they came, happily conversing together, sweet Mary Bates and May Camden. When they saw the Master, with glad cry they flew to meet him, and as he joyously extended a hand to each, they turned, and each clinging to his hand, one upon either side, accompanied him on his way, looking up trustingly into his face as he talked with them, and apparently conversing with him with happy freedom. I saw his face from time to time in profile as he turned and looked down lovingly, first upon one, then the other lovely upturned face, and I thought, that is the way he would have us be with him, really as children with a beloved elder brother. I watched them until the trees hid them from my sight, longing to gather the dear girls to my heart, but knowing his presence was to them more than aught else. Then I turned and passed softly through the house to the beautiful entrance at the rear. Just before I reached the door, I met my friend Mrs. Wickham. Before I could speak, she said, "I know all about it. Do not try to speak. I know your heart is full. I will see you very soon. There, go." And she pushed me gently to the door. How my heart blessed her, for it indeed seemed sacrilege to try to talk on ordinary topics after this blessed experience. I did not follow the walk, but kept across the flowery turf beneath the trees till I reached home. I found my brother sitting upon the veranda, and as I ascended the steps he rose to meet me. When he looked into my face, he took both hands into his for an instant, and simply said very gently, "Ah, I see. You have been with the Master," and stepped aside almost reverently for me to enter the house. I hastened to my room, and dropping the draperies behind me at the door, I threw myself upon the couch, and with closed eyes lived over every instant I had spent in that hallowed presence. I recalled every word and tone of the Saviour's voice, and fastened the instructions he had given me indelibly upon my memory. I seemed to have been lifted to a higher plane of existence, to have drunk deeper draughts from the fountain of all good since I had met him whom my soul loved. It was a long, blessed communion that I held thus with my own soul on that hallowed day. When I looked upon the pictured face above me, I wondered that I had not at once recognized the Christ. The likeness was so perfect. But I concluded that for some wise purpose my eyes were holden until it was his pleasure that I should see him as he is. When at last I arose, the soft golden twilight was about me, and I knelt by my couch to offer my first prayer in heaven. Up to this time in my life, there had been a constant thanksgiving. There had seemed no room for petition. Now, as I knelt, all I could utter over and over was, "I thank thee, blessed Father, I thank thee, I thank thee." When I at last descended the stairs, I found my brother standing in the great flower room, and going to him I said softly, "Frank, what do you do in heaven when you want to pray?" "We praise," he answered. "Then let us praise now," I said, and standing there with clasped hands, we lifted up our hearts and voices in a hymn of praise to God, my brother with his clear, strong voice leading, I following. As the first notes sounded, I thought the roof echoed them, but I soon found that other voices blended with ours until the whole house seemed filled with unseen singers. Such a grand hymn of praise earth never heard. And as the hymn went on, I recognized many dear voices from the past: Will Grigg's pathetic tenor, Mary Alice's exquisite soprano, and many another voice that wakened memories of the long ago. Then, as I heard sweet child voices and looked up, I saw above us such a cloud of radiant baby faces as flooded my heart with joy. The room seemed filled with them. Oh, what a life! What a divine life! I whispered, as after standing until the last lingering notes had died away, my brother and I returned to the veranda and sat in the golden twilight. "You're only in the first pages of its record," he said. "Its blessedness must be gradually unfolded to us, or we could not even here bear its dazzling glory." And then followed an hour of hallowed intercourse, when he led my soul still deeper into the mysteries of the glorious life upon which I had now entered. He taught me. I listened. Sometimes I questioned, but rarely. I was content to take of the heavenly manna as it was given me, with a heart full of gratitude and love. End of part 2.